A Look at Seniors is underwritten with the generous support of Centers Healthcare. Heart, Health, Home.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, as part of our ongoing series, A Look at Seniors, we've learned over the years that every single time we do this, a guest has to be a lawyer, an attorney, someone from that world where sometimes we think we're prepared and then we find out we're not prepared, or the law changes and we're not prepared, or any or all of the above. Well, joining us today is an expert in estate planning. This is Doug Shartrand of the Shartrand Law Firm. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you.
Very nice to have you here. And welcome back to Lois Celeste, who is the director, executive director, president, CEO, no, okay. Whatever those are, for the Saratoga Senior Center. So welcome, both of you. Lois, welcome back. And, you know, you see seniors every single day. Mm-hmm. And they come in and they'll ask questions, and then you have sort of described yourself as the connector. So people do come in with questions about their estate, about their wills, about their family, about changing circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see it all the time, and it's for us to not be experts in any of that, but to know what's out there and be able to provide the resources, provide educational programs about these things. Mm-hmm. You know, change of circumstances, it's exactly what you just said, you know, whether their health changes, whether they lose a partner, whatever it is, there's change of circumstances that all of a sudden we need to revisit all of these issues. So we try to provide a lot of educational programming around these topics, but we're not lawyers.
Yes,
we're not estate planners. You know, I don't know all the changes in the taxes or the Medicare or any of that, but we are the connector for those.
Now, are you finding that people raise this with you when they come in?
Some do, and some it's a little bit of a taboo subject sometimes. Some people think they're set. They did this 20 years ago and we're all good and don't need this anymore. But like we said, you know, changes of circumstance. And so I think it is important that we are a resource for seniors.
Does that follow for what you see? People think I'm set?
Absolutely.
Okay. Give me an example there.
Well, they'll come in and I'll meet with people. Sometimes they'll just want me to review things to make sure everything still is good, and I'll have to tell them that, you know, this document was good at the time, but because of your family situation changed, your financial situation changed, or as you mentioned, the law changed, the documents need to be updated. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to leave clients with their documents as they come in if they still serve the purpose, but if they no longer serve the purpose, then they really do need to be updated.
Are there any specific areas that you concentrate on to determine that?
Well, you first have to ask the clients what their objectives are. What do they want to do with their estate plan? What are their desires? Who do they want to benefit? And then you base it off of that to see what do their existing documents do that, or if they don't have documents at all, what do they need in order to obtain their objectives?
Now, I had a personal circumstance with a person I was very close to, who's 90-something years old, and when we moved him from assisted living into nursing, and when he was finally in the hospital, they asked him who his healthcare proxy was, and he didn't have one. I became his healthcare proxy, and of course, you know, it was there at the hospital, and the lawyer came in and all that other stuff. So would that fall into this category?
Absolutely. When I meet with people, I make sure they have what I call the 3 foundational documents. Do they have a will? Do they have a healthcare proxy? Do they have a power of attorney? If they have those 3 in place and they still meet their needs, if they had existing ones, then that's the basis that they have to work off of. If they have that, then they have a good solid footing going forward.
Yeah, and I would imagine that those 3 categories that you just mentioned, a will, a healthcare proxy, and power of attorney, are the 3 fundamental things that as you get older, you should review on a periodic basis, right?
Yeah, and again, I think we see these people every day, and sometimes the children don't. You know, the children, you know, we are the children of our parents, and you can never be enough prepared. I mean, we see things in crisis, like get out in front of it. is it too late when somebody has had a stroke or has fallen or dementia sets in potentially? It's really important to do these things ahead of time and learn, ask the questions.
Given your 30-something years of experience, Doug, is there a time period, once a decade, every 4 or 5 years, 20 years?
I'd like to tell my clients, they should revisit their estate planning documents every 4 to 5 years, or if there's a change in their family or financial situation.
I've got it. Now, in this particular situation, since everything is so specialized today, I imagine at one point an insurance agent or a financial advisor or a doctor might be somebody that you would recommend to bring in to the conversation.
Absolutely. Each client that you meet has an individual situation. Sometimes the situation will be such that they need life insurance for tax purposes, more so in the past than in the present now with the way they've elevated the estate tax exemption levels. But financial planning for an income going forward, if they're going to be able to enjoy the lifestyle that they want or pay for a nursing home.
Right. So it seems to me that planning here is especially important, based on what you see every day, and people's circumstances change. It could be anything from them falling, having an accident. God forbid a younger member of their family, a child or a sibling or something, would pass away who was responsible for power of attorney or might be a healthcare proxy. So, checking in frequently to make certain that those three fundamentals are covered would sound very important to me. At the Senior Center, of course, can provide connections, right?
Absolutely.
And also you would be an expert in helping them maneuver this. One last question. We're going to go through a tax plan change. Looks to me like corporations were first up on the list, but you hear an awful lot about Medicaid.
The situation is such that how it's going to impact individuals, nursing homes, et cetera, going forward is still something that has to be assessed. Mm-hmm. So you really need to, keep on top of it, and then, talk to somebody, within the next 6 to 12 months to see if things really have changed and will they impact your plan going forward.
I've got it. All right, Doug. I want to cycle back on one thing. The three things that Doug mentioned are wills, healthcare proxy, and power of attorney. And the real recommendation here is to be able to check in frequently to make certain that you're covered in those three areas. And whether you're going over to the Senior Center or whether you're just watching this, that's important stuff, right?
Yeah. And we'll continue to try to bring educational programming in to update on some of the tax laws and the changes as they go through tax season and into open enrollment next year.
Yes, open enrollment's another one, sure. Oh, I got it. Okay, well, good. Thank you both very much for coming in. Very nice to see you. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.